everyone, thank you so much for joining me for today's Beastly Books. So all through summer reading is Tales and Tales, and so with young adult books sometimes you get a lot of like fantasy driven stories. So with this prompt, I was like, you know what, I'm going to have some fun, and instead of doing like a new book showcase, we are going to instead just be talking about some fantastic books that have recently come out and classics that have some kind of mystical, beastly characters. And I have it kind of separated out, so we're going to save the vampires for last. But we're going to start out with some fantasies that kind of are based on real life animals. So this one just came out. It is called My Contrary Mary. If you like anything historical, this would be for you. But basically it is about Mary, Queen of Scots, and it is a retelling. So instead of her tragic end in real life, you get to kind of see a retelling of what could have been. But with this, there are people who can shapeshift, and she can actually shapeshift into a mouse. So there are people who can shapeshift into birds. There's one that can do a dog. And so our main character in this, Mary, gets to turn herself into a mouse to kind of try and sneak around and spy on people. So it's a really fun read if you like kind of historical retellings that kind of have a fantasy element to it. Next we have a local North Carolina author, and his name is Scott Rytkin, and he has written the Nixia series before, but this is his new series. It is called Ash Lords, and this is all about phoenix racing, or not phoenix racing, horses, and they are on fire and everything, and they just get to race. So if you are if you are into stuff like that, it's a really great fantasy if you're getting started out, or if you are a guy and you don't really want like the romance aspect of a book, then definitely pick this one up. Like I said, he's a North Carolina author. He is fantastic. So this one, really good. So these two are really good if you are a teen who is a little bit younger and you're wanting to step into the realm of teen books, but you've just kind of stepped out of the middle grade genre. These two are really, really great. So first we have Red Wall by Brian Jacques, and this is an older one. It is a classic, and it is about a town full of mice, and the whole book kind of just revolves around that storyline. But it is like more so about like a kingdom, very fantasy driven. And then you also have anything by Aaron Hunter is based on animals. So this one is The Power of Three, The Warriors. And this is kind of like an offset of her main warrior series. But these are all about cats. I know that she also has a new fantasy series coming out in about a month. And it is all about other kinds of animals. I think the first one is about like a panda. So if you're kind of a younger teen, 12, 13 years old, and you kind of want to step into the world of fantasy, then these two books are fantastic. Now kind of stepping into some other beastly characters. We have Reign of the Fallen, and it's by Sarah Glenn Marsh. And this is about necromancy. So it's just like bringing back the dead almost. So it's kind of a zombie-esque type. There are some monsters, and basically our main character is able to talk to the dead and bring them back. So if you kind of like a little bit of dark fantasy with the realm of kind of like the zombie-esque type characters, then this one is really great. There's also a sequel. It's a 2-book series. So pick this one up. So we're going to go with another classic. I did not pick up Harry Potter because we all know Harry Potter. He's got some fantastic little mystical creatures like Fawkes the Phoenix, and then you have Hagrid and his dog. So instead we're going to do Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This is by J.K. Rowling. And this is actually the screenplay for the movie. So if you've seen the movie and you know all of the creatures and all of the animals and beasts in this book, it literally has the word beast in the title. So you can't go wrong with this. Back to our zombies. We have Broken Lands by Jonathan Mayberry, and he has actually already written a series about zombies called Rotten Ruin. So this is kind of another step into that zombie-esque creatures. If you want to call them beasts, we can call them beasts. Another classic is Aragon, and this is by Christopher Paolini, and this is about dragons and this boy, and it's just such a great adventure story. So even, like I said, with the Warrior series and with Redwall, if you are a younger teen, then this would be such a great starter book to get kind of into the world of fantasy. There's also a movie on it as well, and we know we love to read books that are also connected to movies. And this one is a brand new book that just came out. We just got it in, and it's called The Blaze Wrath Games, and it's by Amparo Ortiz. And this is all about basically like a competition, but add dragons. So you really can't go wrong with that. So there are some fantastic just beasts and creatures and dragons all in this book. Now we're going to the fan favorite, which is werewolves and vampires. And so the first one is Lycanthropy and Other Chronic Illnesses. So this is kind of based on fantasy, but then it also has a contemporary feel to it. And so this kind of a little trigger warning. It's about someone with a mental disability, but she also feels like she can see werewolves and see people turning into werewolves. So this is a really great read if you are into the contemporary realm and you still want to kind of get your werewolf fix in. Another classic is Vampire Academy. So we got Rochelle Mead, and this is just such a fun book, especially if you are a teen who's still in high school and you just want like that kind of taste of Twilight, but a little bit more your speed with it being in a school setting. You've still got the romances, but it's an academy full of vampires. You cannot go wrong with this, especially if you like vampires. We all know this one. We all love this one. This is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, and she came out with the book in Edward's perspective last year, which is Midnight Sun, and this is a 4-book series, 5 if you include Midnight Sun, and this follows our character Bella and how she lives in Washington, and she falls in love with Edward, who is our sparkly vampire. So not really scary, but you know, it's okay. He can kind of hang out in the sun, but he just sparkles a little bit. But yes, such a classic, especially if you're kind of new to the vampires. Definitely pick this one up. We've got Marked by PC Cast. This is another series that is kind of like Vampire Academy, like Vampire Diaries, where it is kind of teens. They have their vampire friends, they go to school, they're just like you, except they're vampires. And then this last one I'm really excited about. I've read a few of these stories. These are all short stories. It's not a very thick book. It is a newer one, and it is by some of the best writers in young adult fiction, especially young adult fantasy. And these are all stories of vampires and other mythical creatures and beasts. And it's called Vampires Never Get Old, Tales with a Fresh Bite. So I hope that y'all got some great suggestions. We also have some more out here on a display. If you want some other suggestions and you just want to come in, then I can definitely point you in the right direction. But I did talk about a lot of really great books. If you would like to put any of these on hold or just come in and browse, then you can do that, or you can call us to put them on hold. So that is it for my Beastly Book Showcase. And I will see you next week whenever we do homemade dog toys. So I hope y'all have a great week. Bye.